I would say this is quite a decent bit of TrackMaster indeed. I'm not really sure how to begin this tour, but nonetheless, I shall commence with it henceforth. I suppose we'll start with Knapford Station, since that's where all the lines on this layout do interconnect within Knapford Station itself. It's the starting point. And here we've got Spencer with the Duke and Duchess's coach, Harold the helicopter and his helipad, and we got Duck, who's been in a close shave recently. If we follow his track, we fall down to the level crossing, 2 level crossings in fact, at the Sodor Airport, which I would place down Jeremy, but alas, I do not have Jeremy. And the airport, but only Harold the helicopters, which in fact this one's a Bachman one, it's a bit of an imposter, you might say. I even got 2 of Jeremy's water tower things, but alas, no Jeremy himself. I figured it would make the most sense to put this in the layout away from like what I've got is like the quarry area, and then like the farm area, and then like the industrial town area kind of. So to me, kind of put it between where all the people would be, so hence the airport goes here. Got little Birdie Bus going around his day with making passengers. Then over here, we've got Cranky and Salty at the docks. And got Colin, let's see, Oliver over there with Scruffy and Toad, and just too many characters for me to keep track of to also keep up with the video when I'm showing. Got Murdoch with Rocky, the Steamworks with Victor, and Diesel 10, and Dodge, and Splatter, and Cranky, and Salty, and the Troublesome Man, and just James and Colin, just so many characters. Anyways, you might notice there's 2 of them, because the whole goal of this layout was to have, you know, an ultimate HiT Toys TrackMaster layout. And not quite everything is purely HiT Toys. I spot a certain Whiff over there, who is actually Fisher-Price. But all of these items on here were made in some shape or form by HiT Toys, even if some of these may be Fisher-Price releases. Since, for me, HiT Toys was it was the ideal part of TrackMaster, since, I mean, you can create all this. I mean, Fisher-Price never did the roadways or level crossings, and just a lot of pieces here that I wish Fisher-Price released, but they never did. And of course, TrackMaster 2 destroyed everything, so. Anyways, if we carry on here, this entire loop is contained to the general Steamworks area, since, you know, the Steamworks Spin Fix being the main attraction here. You do have this little carnival area at the back here, though. You got Stepney with Emily's coach. You got Lady at the washdown, which can be all special looking. And you got Arthur with some rolling stock. Even with Oliver over here, you got the Scruffy with his 2 milk churns, and you got Toad and the GWR brake van from that one HiT Toys truck pack. This area back here was a pain to figure out how to make it all connect back up over here, since this all flowed nice and easily with Knapford. This, on the other end, I had to go like through 5 different ideas on how to make it actually look decent, and for all these different various tracks to connect up to, but in the end I did manage to figure it out. Eventually I'll do a running tour of this layout, but first I want to do a showcase video, since I thought it's worth something showing off to YouTube, since quite a few of these pieces I don't see talk too much. More of the obscure ones, such as the rusty out signal over here that came in the Thomas & Wolfe Ride set. Those 2 mail cars over there, which came like a Hero of the Rails themed truck pack, or even the level crossings or the roadway pieces in general, which, speaking of which, I think we'll talk about one of the most famous HiT Toy destinations, Action Canyon, and where that track goes. So if we keep it on Fearless Freddy, we can see that go down Action Canyon, down the water slide, around the bend, on Rusty's track, keep going, past Duck, and you're going to travel all the way over to Aeneas. Or, not all the way to Aeneas, under Aeneas. Well, that doesn't really matter. Travel to where Aeneas is on the bridge, keep going under, you pass where Bertram is, the old warrior, at the Sodor Copper Mine, going under the road bridge again, next to Toby, through the Echo Cave, underneath a boulder mountain, onto Paint Splatter Thomas's track, and then back up through Action Canyon once more. So, this line changed quite a bit, since initially, all these tracks out here were more like right here, since initially this layout was going to be more compact, so I could fit in. I was using a different approach, but then I decided try and incorporate as many lines as I can, as many overpasses and connection points as possible. So ultimately what intended to be a fairly simple set ended up evolving to this giant monstrosity of a layout, but nevertheless I am pleased with my handiwork. And it would seem a little tree is tipped over. Can't have that, or else Henry will be in quite the despair. Anyway, with this track, I just realized Bertram and Thomas are on a collision course with Rusty and Fearless Freddy over there. Oh dear, oh dear. But yeah, with this track, there's one more simpler ones. I just had to shift everything, well, from here, where the Boulder Mountains are, to, well, this roadway. And I guess I'll speak with the roadway since we're over here at the quarry. This roadway and this roadway were... I should have incorporated them earlier, but they were later additions because I couldn't quite figure out initially how to incorporate them. I had to rework the track layout for this area quite heavily so I can make the roadway area fit, which I'm quite pleased with because I feel like it makes it a lot more Soder-like in a sense, because in the classic series and HiT era, quite a lot of the time we see the road characters show up, and it just makes it feel like Sodor just isn't this place completely overran by railway lines, and there's actually, you know, civilization, people have roads and stuff, and, you know, it just makes it seem more believable in a sense, I suppose. So, I've only got 2 road vehicles that are motorized, that being Elizabeth over here on the bridge, and then of course I got Birdie Bus over here, which you saw earlier. Forgive the shadow, I don't have better lighting at this moment. So yeah, that was the Action Canyon line. Got Peter Salmon refreshment coach because I figured, hey, we see them at a waterfall in the episode, so a waterfall they should go by near too. So show all the wonderful visitors, all the wonderful sights. Next we'll move on to the line that Billy's on, or at least trying to show you that Billy's on, but the water tower is low-key blocking the view and I can't quite get there. Oh well. If we follow Billy's track, it goes underneath the bridge where Percy's broken down, where Harvey has been so kind to come along and assist Percy so he will no longer be broken down. And a fun fact, those 2 blue coaches from Percy Engine 619. Neat little trivia fact there for you all. Come past here, past Hank and his siding, go down this way, past Farmer McColl's. Well, I guess a second Farmer McColl, since Billy's already at the Farmer McColl's, so just pretend it's another farmer who just happens to name McColl. Anyway, orange Rocky Mountain color thing, the Boulder Mountain again. Yes, I have 3 of them. This past Christmas, which I'm very pleased with. It looks very nice when all set up and together. Go on this way, my shadow's blocking everything underneath Renee's, keep going past their Knapford, past Spencer and Duck, carrying on, past Flora, past Molly, and we arrive to Neville all the way over there, which I need to get to so you can see better. Wait, no, Neville's on Flora's track, I was wrong. We're on Molly's track now. Goodness sake, it all kind of converges, it doesn't matter too much, but anyway. There's Molly, passes around the back of Neville by Mountain Tunnel into the back of Billy's livestock vans, where the chickens will no doubt have a pecking order to subdue. That was the easiest part of the layout to probably figure out, since I built that part initially with the whole Timoth Sheds area as well. And we'll get to the inner loop in just a minute here, and I'll talk about some other areas in the layout too that were mentioned, but the track that Spencer's on will honestly lead nice quietly to the discussion of Timoth Sheds because, as you can see, Spencer goes under the bridges, through the tunnel that the line Percy and Harvey are on, through the Green Mountain Tunnel, or well, I guess, I don't know, it's just another green rocky tunnel that came with Timoth Sheds set, through the Mountain Tunnel. We see Neville here with the milk and tar tanker. Then on his track, you continue around Flora, where we see Lower Timoth Station without its Lower Timoth Station sign. The fact I have it, I just had to put it on it, yeah. And then Flora comes back into Knapford, where Spencer's the Duke and Duchess of Foxbury's coach. Each loop has progressively gone smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. The loop out here for the Steamworks being its own little thing, and it being everything else being on this side of the layout. I didn't intend for that to happen, it just did, because I had to keep everything kind of in a squarish shape, self-contained in this general broad area. The line that with Percy's on, that were the little, I don't know, it's the weird station thing that came with Stanley and the mountain tunnel thing in that one set. It's supposed to be Owl's Bridge, but it came with the Green Mountain Tunnel. Anyways, that's its own self-contained loop of track that just loops right back to Timothy Sheds. It is entirely functionless. It's just for looks and prettiness, just so I could have a nice, cool-looking little bridge over here. It's entirely just for looks otherwise. And of course, in Timothy Sheds are perhaps the only non-TrackMaster items at all on the playlist. We got Henry, Edward, and Gordon, which you can just barely see because I can't get any closer. Filming this for the video will be a pain, no doubt. But alas, it'll look very nice on camera. Because when you get down low, ooh, look at all that lovely TrackMaster magic to behold. Isn't that lovely? So yeah, that's about everything. Just wanted to give a little bit of a tour, my thoughts and opinions, and since, you know, I built the darn thing, but hey ho, who am I to complain about anything? I hope you've all enjoyed this little layout tour, and I suppose I'll end things off with pointing out my favorite section of the layout, which is definitely a tricky one to point out. But, however, I am quite pleased with the quarry area. It turned out quite nice. I like how you have the 3 older quarry mountain pieces, you got the 2 green bridges with your NAS on top there with slate trucks, and then again, more bridges. You have the 4 blue of the trestle bridges, then the 1 red bridge which came in that one UK exclusive set with Thomas and Ellsworth Station, the Roadway, and then all these various coal hoppers, the copper mine, mountain mine, 2 of them in fact, and I'm very pleased with how I've managed to just do this entire general area, just making use of a lot of different pieces but fit in a relatively smallish area compared to that, say, the Spin and Fix Steamworks area, which I felt as if I could have made it more compact, but not disappointed, this is just my general preferred area on the layout. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you will all enjoy the running tour session of this video soon to follow, and I hope you all have a good rest of your day, for this has been a Junction Malfunction production.